Hello friends, EDDBUD here. Welcome back to EDDBUD Running Shoe Reviews. Today I've got one of my world famous running shoe yay or nay videos for you. This is where I discuss whether I'm going to pick up specific forthcoming or newly released running shoes to test out on the channel. It could be that I think another shoe cheaper is going to do them more justice, and as such I'll leave them on the virtual shelves. Without further ado, let's get to it. Thanks for joining me here on EDDBUD Running Shoe Reviews. It is always appreciated. Hit me up with a super thanks down below if you're particularly enjoying the channel and want to support us on an ad hoc basis. Maybe you've got a question or something you want to get straight to the mind of EDDBUD. Make sure you hit that subscribe button and click the bell below for notifications. Also give this video a thumbs up like and share it with your running buddies. That's if you've got any running buddies. You might just run alone like a lone wolf. Seems to be me actually. I think almost all my runs are on my own. But really I'm running with all of you in my mind. Yeah, anyway, let's get to it. Shoe number one. First up is the ADIDAS ADIOS Pro 3. I will absolutely be picking these up, so it's a yay. On to the next shoe. No, let's just talk about that one for a second. I'm going to pick up the grey, pink and black colourway on release. I really want to test out the extra width there in the sort of midfoot area, that carbon plate obviously, and the new energy rods. You heard me, the new energy rods. My feet seem to really love those Adidas designed uppers. I just seem to get on with the ADIOS Pro series, so I really do think I need to test this one out for the channel. I'm keen to see just how aggressive that 4-foot toe-off area really is. In some pictures you see on the net, it's almost like a straight edge. It's crazy. I also want to see how close to the Prime X the upper design is here in the ADIOS Pro 3. So many requests for this review, so it is coming, people, I promise you. I can assure you I will get this one on release. Hopefully it's going to be relatively soon. I did see some dates for like last week or something, but it still hasn't appeared. There are some weird like Boston 11 special Berlin colorways or something, but nothing on the ADIOS Pro 3 yet aside from that black and green one. I'm saving those earth credits up by ensuring all electrical devices in the house are turned off at all times. Well, apart from this, because otherwise you won't be able to see me. And Mrs. EDDBUD is knitting lots of thick woolly jumpers ready for Christmas. I think everybody's going to be doing that, in fact. So it's a yay for the ADIZERO ADIOS Pro 3. In fact, that's my top tip. If you're feeling a bit cold in the winter, just go out running for like 3 or 4 hours or something until things warm up. That'll save you on your energy bills. Jokes aside, it's pretty ridiculous. I gotta sort something out or people are gonna get really sick. And I'm not talking just people that, you know, are on the breadline or whatever. I'm talking about people that may have some sort of condition or something that earn money and just simply can't afford to pay the bills. So, you know, come on government, actually govern and do something about it maybe. Shoe number two. This is the Saucony Tempus. Again, this is a shoe loads of people have been asking me to review over the last few weeks. It does look like it's actually dropped now. A combo of midsole materials woven together here. Like the beautiful guitars of Albert Hammond Jr. and Nick Valenci in the Strokes. They just seem to intertwine together like some sort of ball of energy. These may create a stabilised and slightly more controlled ride by all accounts. We have Power Run PB and you know I like that stuff. It reminds me a little bit of those pink and white Nougat bars that you can buy. I think Power Run PB is in the majority of the midsole here with a frame of the slightly older and firmer Power Run EVA. It sort of houses the setup together, like your strong foundations and then your nice soft sofa in the middle. Impact protection of the Pebax foam in the heel and lots of it directly underfoot in the front section of the shoe. We have a form fit upper here, and if it's anything to go by from the other Saucony releases in the past few weeks, it's going to be a good one. Certainly some nods to the Endorphin Pro 2 here with that midfoot strap on the lateral side of the upper. I think it's a touch more weight here than something like the Endorphin Speed 3 perhaps, though we should expect that as it's a slightly more stabilised ride than that shoe. Perhaps not quite as squashy as the Speed 3 or the Pro 3. The legendary XT900 outsole rubber appears here, and it's got a similar placement to what we've seen on the Endorphin series shoes over the last few months. I think it's a maybe at the moment on the Tempus. I want to get some more miles into the Speed 3 first before I pick this one up. Last thing I want to do is review it and then not really get to go out in it over a consistent and frequent period. So it's kind of in the middle there, a bit of a horse till on the Saucony Tempus. shoe 3. Another Saucony here, the Triumph 20. Seems ages ago since I tried out the Triumph. I think it was like the 17 or something. This one has recently released, or is going to soon. It seems a bit patchy where it's available. I recall seeing this one way back in 2021. I think it was towards the end of the year. It's finally released, I think. Features a new lacing system over the 19 and a more substantial upper than the Tempus or the Speed 3. So I think they're looking at this one being a long-range Larry. They haven't opted for Power Run PB here, instead Power Run Plus. So a little less squash, a little bit firmer. I guess that's probably what a lot of people will want if they're going for a long run shoe. It's only feather-like fools like me that like the Power Run PB all the time. Even in bed, I think you're probably looking at this one being a sort of mile grinder rather than some sort of all-out speed shoe. These days I think I'll look at the drop of the shoe, perhaps the surface area of it, along with the sort of bulk as well, and I just don't really seem to get on all that well with very plush shoes. They just seem to be sort of like overkill really for me. When I look for sort of max cushion, some of the super shoes actually work out better for me because I don't weigh an awful lot. I think I got too many other lighter and slightly sort of cheaper options, ones that I haven't got that many miles into at the moment to really consider picking the Triumph 20 up at the moment. There's loads of very forgiving shoes I've got. I think at 155 Earth credits as well, it's probably one that I'm going to pass on for the time being. There's just so many others in the rotation right now, it's going to be a nay on the Saucony Triumph 20. Let me know if you're going to pick this one up, if you're a fan of the Triumph series. I know there's lots of you out there. Last, but by no means least, is shoe 4. From Brooks this time. It's not the Beast, it's the Caldera 6. There looks to be a colossal stack in this shoe, but when you do a bit more research into it, you realise it's actually not the case. It's another one of these shoes where the midsole wall kind of climbs up around the foot a little bit. Then we've got a 6mm drop here in this Brooks offering, 312 grams or 11 ounces in the sample size 9, so I imagine that's going to sort of push up to above 350 grams for my UK size 11. As I assumed, a large amount of the foam here cups around the foot, certainly in the heel area and around the midfoot as shown in the image on screen. This appears to be an out-and-out ultra shoe really, if you're going to be running loads and loads of miles, perhaps a little bit of a reduced pace across multi-terrain. Some very sizable lugs there and sticky traction, which is what everybody wants if they're doing that type of event. It's absolutely bizarre, isn't it? If we got brands like Brooks and Salomon, they seem to be able to get the underfoot traction, that grip from the outsole lugs just spot on, and yet we've got a really big brand like Nike and they just constantly knock out trail shoes that leave a lot to be desired. The outsole rubber on those is just plain slippery sometimes. We have options here to attach other wet terrain and debris ushering apparel to stop water and stuff getting into the shoe. I think the Caldera 6 is actually very well equipped, especially at this sort of price. I think we got a nitrogen infused midsole as well. 120 smackaroonies is actually pretty reasonable. I think this certainly is an ultra long range option that people will look into at that price too. There's lots of people really enjoy Brooks shoes. Perhaps I need to test some more out. If there's one that you particularly want to see, if someone's a big Brooks fan out there, let me know down in the comments what I should pick up. This one's not for me. I think other shoe tubers will do this one more justice. I simply don't get out and do trail running enough to warrant this one, but interesting to look at it nonetheless. It's a nay from me on the very value-packed Caldera 6 from Brooks. That's all 4 shoes for today, guys. Let me know what your take is on these down in the comments. Musical interlude time. As you guys well know by some of the stuff that you see behind me and some of my t-shirts, I'm a really big Star Wars fan. I have been ever since, well, as a little kid really. I can remember watching it when I was about 4 or 5. I thought I was Luke Skywalker for a little while. I do remember wearing out a VHS tape of A New Hope at one stage. It snapped and I was really upset, but fortunately managed to get hold of another one. So over the years I must have watched it hundreds and hundreds of times and really enjoy the whole universe really. There's one specific moment in A New Hope that really captured me, I suppose. Just thinking about it, I can remember the exact moment that I saw it, and I think it also influenced me to love music as much as I do. The emotion, the feeling of music, how it can affect you. That's the section where Luke is looking out on the 2 moons. I think the title of the track is actually called Binary Sunset. The melody in that section, the use of the strings, the arrangement, everything is just amazing. With that picture of him looking out just alone, there's sort of hope there, there's despair, there's a little uncertainty. It's sort of the dream. I think any young person has experienced all those things at once. It's a beautiful piece of music, Binary Sunset from A New Hope, the Star Wars original soundtrack. Makes me feel all sorts of different things just thinking about that piece of music. Thanks for tuning in, people. It is always appreciated. If you haven't done so already, hit that subscribe button and click the bell below for notifications when I launch out another salvo of shoe stuff for you. Give this video a thumbs up, like, but also share it with your running buddies. My name's EDDBUD, and I'll be seeing you